the Pennsylvania Railroad Class DD1, a class of box cab electric locomotives that were built directly by the Pennsylvania Railroad at their Altoona works between 1910 and 1911. The Pennsylvania Railroad had been experimenting with electrification and gone through their own program, but in one particular area there was a unique issue they were having. See, there were tunnels, North River tunnels, over in the New York area and northern New Jersey. And as part of their New York tunnel extension, well, it wasn't an extension. In order to get trains into Manhattan, and that's great and all, but not only were there no overhead catenaries in the tunnels, but also you can't run steam engines through the tunnels because people will choke and die. So, so they needed a third rail option, and thus the DD1s were born. First entering service in 1910 with the opening of Pennsylvania Station, they operated between there and Manhattan Transfer. They also went to the coach yards at Sunnyside Yard in Queens, New York. And they were a bit of an old school design as far as electric locomotives go. Under the AAR, they'd be 2B plus B2, but understand that, technically speaking, each individual DD1 was actually two DD1s. The sisters were coupled semi-permanently to each other, twinsies, if you will, resulting in a length of 64 feet 11 inches and a total weight of 313,000 pounds. And this was their normal setup. They basically never ran individually. They could, but they never really did. As I mentioned, they used a third rail, a 650-volt DC third rail, direct current, via contact shoes. They had two 315A 2,000 horsepower traction motors, and their transmission was resistance-controlled DC, supplied to the DC motors, which were connected to the axles through jackshaft and side rods. Yes, they had side rods, which isn't unusual for older electric locomotives. They would stop doing that eventually, but in the early days, they built them in a similar way to how they were handling steam engines. You can make electrically driven locomotives that use side rods. And actually, you can do that with diesels as well. Though over time, as the technology developed, they realized that they didn't need to use side rods, and there were other ways to do it that were actually better in their context. As for the name DD1, well, the Pennsylvania Railroad had already classified their 440 locomotives as Class D. The DD1s were basically two 440s coupled back to back, so double D. Man, I'm talking about double Ds a lot lately around here. And since they worked in pairs and stayed together, each pair was assigned a different number, known as an EZN, or Electrified Zone Number, which simplified train dispatching so they could use that number to call upon the pair, whereas the individual numbers applied to each single locomotive remained on them and were used for mechanical records, because sometimes one sister would break and the other one would be fine, so they had to keep track of that too. It was a strange situation because of the way they operated, but in any event, they did quite well, actually. They were capable of reaching 85 miles per hour and had an impressive tractive effort of 55,500 pounds of force. And they were known as very smooth runners, very quiet, and their rods were known to not really clank at all, and they were very good on maintenance as well. And even when they tried to replace them, they didn't really replace them all that well. In 1924, they introduced the brand new L5s, which were meant to replace these, but the L5s weren't nearly as good. They were two 442s and weren't very good at cornering, considered far less successful as a result. However, by the 1930s, they really had to stop using the DD1s because the New York to Philadelphia main line had been converted from DC to AC. The DD1s could not use AC, they just weren't built for it at all. But they'd already started transferring a few over to the Long Island Railroad, or LIRR. Now, the Long Island Railroad was technically a separate entity, but the Pennsylvania Railroad had a controlling interest in it. They used the DD1s for a pretty significant amount of time, but starting in 1949, even they started not having a use for them, and they began to scrap them. By 1962, there were only two pairs of sisters remaining, and by 1978, only a single set of twins was still around. 3936 and 3937. But, thankfully, it was decided to save them. They were still there, they were chilling, hanging out, and instead of scrapping them, they were like, okay, they've lasted this long, they should go to a museum. And they did. They were donated to the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, located in Strasburg, and would be jointly listed on the National Register of Historic Places on December 17, 1979. To date, they're still there, hanging out, chilling, vibing, and likely won't ever run again because they're DC, but despite being kept outside, they are in pretty good shape. And that's good because they are the last two left. It's always nice to see that some preservation has happened. I understand we can't save everything, but in many cases it's very frustrating whenever I hear, oh, this entire family of whatever I'm talking about is gone, eliminated, reduced to atoms. But not the DD1s. We still got two sisters, twinsies, and that's good. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.